could you please introduce yourself to the camera now?
Yes. Well, I'm Barbara Lison. I'm member of the governing board of ИФЛА. Actually, I'm the treasurer of ИФЛА. And starting from Thursday on, I will be president-elect for 2 years, and then the next president of ИФЛА from 21 to 23. And my daytime job is being the director of the public library in Bremen.
Barbara, thank you very much for coming and have this time. Could you please tell us your understanding of what the modern library is?
A modern library is a community place. It's the most important, it should be the most important community place in the city. The highest frequency of the population who comes to these places should be the library. And it's a mixture of information place, of communication place, and also of edutainment place. So I think it's a mixture of education and entertainment, which is called edutainment. And people should love to learn without thinking they should learn, but they are learning and they are communicating and meeting and have a mixed experience from information and, joy.
Could you please tell us a little bit more about the services which should be in this library?
Well, of course, there should be as many modern technical services as possible. That is, of course, Wi-Fi access. Now many libraries start with audio, with artificial intelligence, things like that, or virtual reality, which is also now very popular in Germany, giving people the possibility to start thinking about technical things which they have never thought about before, like producing virtual things, like producing new ideas in the internet. And so the service is mixed. Of course, there will be books. I'm sure there will be books for a long time. But there is the change from information, which is book related, to information which is online related. But still, I think all the fiction, all the children's books, they will be there, because the library also is there for educating reading and educating fantasy. And fantasy is always related to not having a picture first, but to creating a picture in your own brain and then enjoy the pictures.
Great. And taking this into account, what are the competencies of the modern librarian?
Well, in former times, librarians said, I love books. And now I think librarians should say, I love people. And I think the most important thing is that the librarians love to communicate, love to understand what people want, and love to understand how people act. And people in different ways act. So there is no matter how people act in a library, you should do it like this. But people come and they should be accepted in their own different ways. And that is why I say a librarian should love people first.
Could you please tell us more about the educational system in your country and your vision on how the librarians should be educated actually?
Well, I think it is important to have librarians in the library still, but it's also necessary to have non-librarians in the library. There are different professions which are needed. But let's talk about the librarians first. I think it's not really important anymore to have librarians who know everything about cataloging, because you get your cataloging remarks ready-made. You can buy them from the national libraries or from other agencies. That's not really necessary. The librarians should know about, they should be curious. I mean, curiosity is one of the most important attitudes which librarians should have. Curiosity for knowledge and curiosity for people. So I think it's important that they learn at the library schools a little bit about cataloging, just passively. They should learn a lot about managing an organization, because this is a big organization which costs public money. So you have to spend that public money wisely. And it is necessary to understand how the people tick, I mean, the psychology of people. And so I think it's a mixture of a community worker and a knowledge information manager.
How do you think, how to attract the young professionals to the library as a staff? Because some countries have a little problem with this.
I think in many countries, also in Germany, we have problems to get the right staff. So it's the image of the library. And I think those librarians who are working in a library, who are working in library associations, they should try to give the real modern image of a library. Because many people who think, I love to read, I like to catalog, I like to sit quietly in an office and do something, they try to apply for library services and for library education. And so we should make clear that library is a vivid business. It's a business with public and with many people. So the image of the library has to change, especially with new technology. And with new technology, we got more male applicants because they love more technology than, let's say, real books. But it's the image. We are, and also in Germany, we are trying to change the image of the library and the image of the profession.
Do you think, is there a need of some exams for the librarian during their working period? I mean, we had the education from the university. Do they need to be examined after in several years, like as they do?
Well, I don't think necessarily an examination, but they have to be open for workplace learning, for continuous education. So they have to be aware that what they learned, let's say 5 years ago, might be necessary still, but that there are new things which are so important for their job, for their daytime job, that they should go and learn something else. So as in any profession, I think continuous education and workplace learning is one of the most important things. Of course, they shouldn't be left alone with this. I think the associations have also a challenge to organize these education and to organize the offers for education, because sometimes the library schools tend only to educate people and then stop and don't do anything else. So I think the library schools should also look at the people who are in the profession and how they can become fit for the future. Not only for the future, but also for the present.
Yeah. And what about the criteria to evaluate the library itself? What kind of criteria do you know we should use to rate its success?
Well, the success is, I think, how many people come to the library. That's very important, to count the people which come to the library, not only physically, but also to count the people who come virtually, who use the online services, because the online services are important, are getting important more and more. And so people tend to say, well, why should we count the website visits or something like that? So this is something else. But the people who come to the library should be counted. And there are libraries already who don't give any information about the loans anymore, because the loans are going down and still the library is more used than before. So there is an imbalance now, and I think the communicative aspect of the library should be more important than just the numbers of the loans. Of course, when you invest money for collection, then of course you should have this information, but it should be a side information, not the main one.
Okay. And thank you very much, Barbara. We have one favor. Could you please tell some wish to the librarians of our project? Maybe some advice on how to deal with the modernization of the project. And if you don't mind, you can tell this in your native language and then translate it to English.
Okay, okay, I can. Also, seien Sie bitte neugierig auf alles, was es gibt. Haben Sie keine Grenzen des Denkens. Denken Sie auch unbequeme Dinge, denken Sie über das hinaus, was Sie schon kennen, versuchen Sie möglichst viel Ihren Horizont zu erweitern und das, was Sie dann lernen oder was Sie dann wissen, in Ihrer eigenen Bibliothek umzusetzen. So please be curious as much as you can. Try to enlarge your horizon by getting new knowledge, by visiting new libraries, in person or at least through the internet. Have a look how modern and successful libraries look like, and then try to implement this in your own library. And think that you're planning for people and not for books.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Близнец в тучах. Стихи Бориса Пастернака. Предисловие Николая Асьева. Спасибо большое за подарок.